But yeah.
Yeah?
No, not
Sort
the
of.
defeat part,
Uh-huh.
but the motivation part is
Okay.
if she can, and yes, the previous day she was like unable to, she almost slept in the river. I was like, okay, let me try. And then the good thing is that you see the peak, you see the signboard up there.
And then you're like, yeah, I have to get there.
Yes. And the views from the top. I cannot keep on insisting. The views from the top, they're awesome.
Yeah, nice. So hello Littlesilver family. Good evening, good morning, or good according to wherever you are. So I just came in here to do a follow-up video on the Mount Kenya hike. Me and my friend, we hiked together, and we would like to share like the experiences we had, the stuff we thought that we needed and we didn't need, the stuff maybe we didn't have but we think that we needed, and how we got to adjust to the normal us after the hike. We are coming from you live from the Memorial Park. As you know, curfew caught up with us. We cannot go to any restaurant because in-person meetings are not allowed. But this is in person or out person?
In person.
So yeah, there are some things that you get to like to put together.
Of course, first you need the money.
Depending on the company arrangement, you do a deposit and then you can pay the other amount later. Like I did a deposit of like a quarter of the amount, then I paid the full amount on the day I went to start hiking.
Same case. Of course, it's good to do due diligence. You can pay someone and they do the cash. So I did my due diligence, and so it's a reputable company. That's why I paid first. It was the national ID or passport.
The park entrance gate, you're supposed to present an identification document. I presented
two. They were hiking boots. They are very much required. The stones in the footpath. I remember for day 2, where you walk through the game park. You do like 15, 16 kilometers.
Day 2, yeah, yes. Day 2, 15 kilometers.
Around 15. Number 3, a warm jacket. Yes, no, personally I had a t-shirt, I had a hoodie, a woolen hoodie. Also, jeans are not advised because you'll be walking for long. So jeans
get super cold. Yes. I had tights to put inside the jeans, but the jeans is super cold. Like when you want to put it on, it's super cold and it's not warm at all. So for like bottom wear, I would advise if you have the warm leggings, like the ones which are like sort of woolen inside, and also anything like, but it's not so tight because you walk for long distance, and yeah, you don't want to feel uncomfortable. I sort of felt uncomfortable because on the last day to the summit, I had like to throw on everything to be able to try and feel maybe warm.
They do advise that on the last day you wear everything that you own, so you're fat and warm to the summit. So the other thing I had were socks. You require a pair of socks, woolen socks, best of choices.
I had like 3 pairs of socks as well.
Did you wear all of them? Yeah.
On the first 2 days I wore 2 pairs, and on the last day I wore like 3 pairs. Everything. 3 pairs of socks. But I was still cold. We cannot give the ideal like situation whereby you'll be super comfortable at the mountain. It all depends with your like, you identify your cold, like how you can deal with cold. For me, I know it's the neck, so I had a very warm scarf, and the feet. So with the 3 socks, I could still manage, even though I was frozen still. Even with the mittens. No, they are not called mittens for adults. They are gloves.
It's mittens.
Yeah, hand gloves.
Oh,
I couldn't still feel my hands. It's super cold up there.
However, I think the time we were around, it's around the mid-March. So a day earlier there was a snowstorm in the mountain. That's why it was super cold.
Yeah.
So we found the snow still on the mountain. That's why it was super cold. And
yeah, the weather is so unpredictable. Actually,
Yes.
we were super lucky. It didn't even rain when we were going up and down, and I was super grateful for that. I couldn't imagine like feeling tired and then you're pushing yourself through the wind and also the rain, and it gets a little bit muddy, which we experienced on the last day, like when we were coming down.
the other thing that we had was sleeping bags. Yes, we did not camp. That is point of clarification. So we did not require the tents and stuff. We only slept in the, are they called hostels? Lounges.
I don't know what
Lounges.
let's call them lodges. Yeah.
You get a bed, a mattress, and a sleeping bag. So it was not that warm. I won't lie. I had to follow myself to get the warmth. Yes.
Cabbage yourself.
Yes, I had to cabbage myself to get the warmth. And I am wearing everything that I own in the mountain.
Yeah.
It gets super cold, but yeah.
Including the puff jacket. For
Yes,
me,
yes.
what helped me is I realized it's important to carry, for example, for ladies, you can carry your like water bottle. You know, the one you use monthly. So you can carry your water bottle. It would be very, very necessary so that you can easily get hot water from the potters and your cook. So
I think you also don't take a bath in the mountain. Yeah, you carry your own dirt for the next 3 days.
I was asking for warm water.
For warm water, and it's impossible to get warm water in the mountain because you see they're using a stove to cook. It's freezer cold. So I'm sure if you pour yourself, if you decide to take a bath, it would not be the best of choices.
This for ladies, I don't recommend you go to hike when you are, for example, on your menses.
The second last thing they requested from me was a headlamp, which I didn't have. Actually, maybe point of clarification, the company that we got was grateful enough to
they provided us with most of the stuff
for a fee.
Especially for me. Hey,
someone here came like they're coming to the
nothing.
office, coming with a laptop bag.
I thought I'm going. I went with the laptop bag. I think it was just because I was random, because the trip was divided. I was considering of doing something at the coast or the mountain, and my birthday was approaching. I didn't have a concrete plan. Then I was okay. It is the mountain, and I went. I was like, hey, are you going to provide me with everything? And they said, you don't worry, just come. Yeah, we really got a good deal. Maybe it's the COVID situation. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful.
Yeah. So the lamp, you require the lamp for the last day and for at night because there is no electricity. The guys use solar. They switch it off at around 10, 11ish. So if you require to use the lavatory at night or you require to go and see the stars, you use the headlamp.
Yeah, that's not even scary enough. The day to the summit, you wake up super dark. Some people wake up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It depends with your tour guide, whoever they decide. So for us, we woke up at 3 a.m., but it was still super dark. On the last video of the hike, you will see like how we use the lamps.
Yes.
And also because I think we cannot just go when it's daylight, because it will be headache to climb on top with, like when you are sliding down with the ice melting, because when the sun rises, definitely the temperatures warm up and the ice temperature also changes.
Yes, and you also have to go back to camp number 1 on the same day. So you have to walk.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should give you the kilometers.
Yeah.
It was 3 kilometers to the top. From
no way. Yeah, 9 to the first camp.
9 to the first
then
camp,
15 to the second camp, and 3 kilometers to the summit.
Yes.
But the 3 kilometers is like,
like not like this. this. Yeah? And it's snowy and I don't know, is it ice or snow? Ice.
I had For you was the first day or the last day?
Mine was the last day from the mountain.
So first of all, to begin with, I was the most unfit. I hadn't even gone for a walk for the last like 2 years, and I was like, okay, let me go to the mountain. Little did I know it will be tough. So I got a headache on the second day, like after, let's say, 9 kilometers or 10 kilometers before we got to the lunch place. I had a terrible headache, and it didn't go until we got to the Shipton's camp, the second camp, and they gave me like lemon water because they don't recommend you to take tablets, but I don't like to suffer. I had some painkillers. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't know actually I would get headache or something, but just in case, I always carry painkillers. So I took the painkillers, and in the morning I was like, I'm still feeling not okay, but I have to summit. So I went. I think I was just like, fine, I would say. Sometimes I couldn't understand if it's the headache or it's because I'm tired. So I took it as, okay, maybe it's being tired, and I went up and I managed.
Yes. we also got a good company. I'd recommend them because they had proper meals. Although it was noodles, which to a man is not food, subject to discussion, but it was good food and it was energetic for the whole. So they get you breakfast, they get you lunch, and they get you supper.
Yeah, they give you a lot of food. You are overfed, technically, and they like just literally tell you, if you don't even feel like eating, you have to at least force yourself to eat, because you need the energy, and because of the altitude change, you might feel like you don't want to eat. And I would say I got some things which I thought I needed. Like I went to the Naivas, I spent almost like 1,000 bob picking snacks. I don't know what. I don't really need them. Like when you get a proper company that takes care of you, you don't need all this. I just hate the snacks because I had them, but I didn't really require the snacks. Maybe I required glucose. I took glucose with my water when I was having headache, because it could be because of like sugar rush, because your body is doing more than it does on normal occasions. So that's it.
You also don't require water. You get the freshest of water from the rivers. Fresh flowing rivers. Fresh. A water bottle, carry your water, because you require to keep on hydrating yourself. It's a long walk. And, 13 kilometers of up and down. No, sorry, 15 kilometers of up and down is not a small. It's not a short walk. On the last day, you also require water. Although it gets cold and the water freezes.
Yeah, but you just need to drink, because what was helping me sometimes when I walk even a small hill, I would feel my heartbeat like racing a bit. So they would tell you like you have like to take water. It helps. Like take a moment, relax. I really had very patient tour guide, and they just let you go by your pace, which is nice. People don't need to rush you. See, Lazima, it's not a must. But you can as well leave and go home. Like people have to be patient with you. I cannot imagine with my heartbeat high and I'm like forcing myself to go up the mountain. It's not realistic.
All in all, it was an awesome journey. The views from the first
top.
Actually, not the top. The first awesome views are from the viewpoint area.
Yeah.
You get to see the snow-capped mountains. You see, you get to the
viewpoint area. It's mostly hike. Like some people have day trips. They get you to that viewpoint
area. You don't have to do the whole Mount Kenya.
Yeah, but it's also tough.
Yeah. So, but the views that you get from the hiking platform, you get to see the snow-capped mountain tops. It's awesome. Then now on the second day there is a place to finish the first, I don't know what you can call it, the cliff, and you get to see the lake on top of the mountain, and then you get to see the peak. You get to see both peaks, the Nana one and the
I don't know the other one, the Batian. I don't know, there's another one. I don't remember it. But it's amazing. Like, even though it's super cold and the wind which is blowing is cold, but I think the excitement for the achievement is magical. It's just out of the world.
Your water actually freezes. It's that cold. Your water in the bag freezes. So, but another thing that they don't tell you is you charge your phone properly, because there is no place to charge, so unless you have a power bank. So if you need to take photos on the last day, on the summit, please don't take photos on the first day. Or you can go with a
switch
charged
off your phone. Or carry power bank actually. Or the only phone that can survive there is the small phone that you can remove the battery. That one they can at least help you to charge, but that will not help you with the memories and stuff. However, the memories you preserve without the photos are the greatest.
Yes, the ones in your mind. Another thing is connectivity. There is no much connectivity.
There is no connectivity actually until the midway.
Yes, halfway through there's a viewpoint place. You find some connectivity there. Then that's on the second day at around noon. The next time you get connectivity is on the third day around noon and coming back. So it's also a very good place to, if you want
to relax and disconnect.
Disconnect from the other people disturbing you on the phone. Another thing, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he stated like when we were going, because he also had a short time plan in the trip, he stated, well, which is necessary, like you need to have mental preparation, because actually you know what they say, what you don't know doesn't kill you, but it's when you're not prepared you will give up easily. You have to be mentally prepared that it's a complete walk, and it's up and down, small hills, but they are tough.
And some stones. On the last day, most people give up. Most people get to Camp 2 and they're like, it's not a must.
I'm not going. Si lazima.
Yeah. So for us, it was somehow tough. I won't lie, as a man, it was tough.
But he was prepared. I am the risk taker here. He was going to the gym a couple of months or 1 month.
So I was very unfit early January, so I decided to try and get a little bit fit.
Quarantine series.
Yes, before I get to the mountain. So I was doing some small gym, mostly on the legs and the upper body. So I was somehow fit, somehow. Also after, because of the pain, I had to go to my instructor. We did some 2-3 days and I was okay. Your muscles ache. The views, I don't know how to explain this. It's worth every
sacrifice
and every time. It was an awesome experience. I would try it again maybe after 2 years on a different route. Because I've done the chapter.
There are 2 routes. They say there are 2 routes.
There are 2 or 3. There's Marumoro, there's Cinnamon, and there's Chogoria. So I would try the Chogoria one next time. I hear there are a lot of lakes and waterfalls.
Sceneries.
Yes.
I've seen also some influencers, some model do photo shoots on the lakes. I think it's the Chongoria route. Even a day trip, I think. So it was. An awesome trip, and the aftermath. My legs were swollen. I had what they call the Raynauds disease, like my fingers.
And she had gloves.
I had gloves, but my fingers were. Was it swollen or they were painful?
They were painful.
On the second day, after we got out of the summit, when we slept, the next day, my fingers was painful, very painful on the tips, and I think it has taken me a while. My leg muscles had been painful and swollen. I think I have taken like 5 days to recover. Now I'm okay. And what else? My face. My nose was also very painful, and it peeled up, and my whole face peeled up. So the cold is not a joke. I think I did some skin routine with the mountain thing. And yeah, that's generally, I took a lot of time to relax. When I came from the mountain, like I went to my family and I was relaxing. I didn't involve myself in activity. He went to the gym.
Yeah,
he said.
Yes, I actually did go because my muscles were somehow painful. So I tried sleeping. It was not helping. So I decided to go to the gym. It helped a little bit because like 3 days later I was okay. I also got the peeling on the nose. I don't know if sunscreen would have helped.
But you had sunscreen.
Yes, I did have sunscreen, but maybe the cold.
I think the cold effect is different from the sunlight effect. So even though you have the sunscreen, it will not help. For me, I just had some lanolin cream which I used to moisturize myself on the mountain, and it helped because when you apply it, you feel like a little bit also of warmth, but the peeling, it happened.
It's definite.
Yeah.
It has to be done. Would you go back to the top again?
After I'll take my grandchildren.
Okay. But it's an interest.
But yeah, I would go because after the hike, I'm feeling so good, so light. I would not really light physically, but I feel energized. Just the same way I feel when I go for like small mountain hikes, like the Ngong Hills or the Longonot, but it's very refreshing. So I take it as a challenge, but anytime you're going up, be very, very, very self-motivated.
Yes.
It's easily to give up. At some point, I felt like I wanted to cry. On the summit day, it's tough. The elevation is quite high. He also considered going back.
I considered on the final day. I almost went back. Let me say I didn't, because it's tough. You have to be prepared. And I was like, okay, let me just reach, because she was ahead of me. So I decided if she can, I can.
I will not be defeated by her woman.
Not really. But yeah, the quickest you can get to the mountain is 3 days, but you can make it
4 days. You can decide to relax more on the camps.
Yes.
And also, I think I didn't inquire more because I just thought there's only one way to the mountain. But then when I got there, then I realized there are other routes. So you can just make inquiries before you make your trip and before you commit yourself, and then now you are just set to go. You are confident on what you want to do. So yeah, that was our trip, and we are super, super happy. Fingertips being super, super hurtful. I had spotting as well one day after we came from the mountain. I didn't have my periods, but I think it's overworking your body. It's the same like when you go to the gym, you get to experience like changes in your body, so you can expect anything, depends with your body type and everything like that.
Yep.
So that was our trip. We really enjoyed, and we hope you can venture in this. If you want to use our company, just send me a private message. I'll send you the details, and you can just use them, and they are wonderful. Just go and explore. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and you can always send to ask anything you feel like asking, and we'll be able to answer.